ID creatures. So today we're going to talk about rounds, and we're going to start with this example of a cube here. And so I did a diagram right here at the top left of our piece of paper where I show you how you have a simple cube and you have to mark the beginning and the end of each round right here. Okay, so you need to have some guides to know where you're starting and when you're ending, where you're ending the round, I mean. So if you translate this into 3 dimensions, then you have this section right here, or this surface that is, a square in perspective. So you have this edge, and then you have this line that goes around the cube, which is basically just like a belt or something that goes around it. That is basically this line, only if you make it in 3 dimensions, then you have to go around the whole cube. So that's what you do with this one, and then you go here, and then you go around. Okay, so you have to go around each section. So that one I just went over is this one here. And then the ones that are vertical here is the same way, okay? So you go vertical here, and then you go around and go up and then come back here. Okay, so you have to go around each one of those lines around the whole cube, okay? Not just this one, not just the bottom, not just the top, just every one of them, okay? So you have to do that. And what I did here is some sketches of how it changes from an angular thing here, like 90 degrees, to a round surface. So what you're doing is you're taking away a chunk of material. This triangle here is this one that's here, the red one. So you're taking away a whole bunch of material and leaving, a round surface, okay? So I'm showing you this part right here is like this section, and it's made up of 2 surfaces that touch each other and that make like a 90-degree angle, and then you take away a bunch of material and you end up with the round, okay? So if you go around each edge, that's what you get. And finally I did another sketch here of a sphere that's cut in some places, and you get like one small part of it. And I wanted to show you this because this is what happens in every single corner here. You get a piece of a sphere, okay? So you should keep those things in mind when you're learning this. And then I have more examples of different shapes and what happens with them. Like here I have a cone, and what you do is you draw a line the same as this one right here, okay? So you have lines that tell you where to start and stop making those rounds. So you have a line here, and you have another one here that you can't really tell that's there because it's at the bottom. But here you can see it pretty clear how this line right here would be the biggest one there is at the bottom, and then the one at the top would be this one right here, and then there's one small one in the middle that you can't really see, but it's this one that's coming in here, okay? So you have to go from this one to this one, okay? So it's right here and right here, okay? So you have to connect both of them, and so it works the same way as this one, as the cube, okay? And then finally you have a cylinder that works the same way as the cone, only you have it twice, okay? You have it at the bottom and you have it at the top. So you have this one right here, this connection, which is right there, and then you have at the top this area that you take away, which is the red section right here, would be equivalent to the triangle that's right here, okay? So basically it works the same way. Finally, I just have a couple more forms that I made with the rounds that we just learned, or that we're going to learn, that I just sort of taught you without doing it, but that's the next step, okay? Actually taking this and practicing something. So I'm going to start from the cube, because that's the basic part of the whole thing, okay? So I'm going to bring a white piece of paper, and we're going to start. So the first thing I'm going to do is obviously draw or sketch a cube here. Okay, so I'm going to make a cube here. Okay. Here we go. And we have to do another one. Let's see, right here. Okay. That's about correct. And I think this one is a little bit off. Okay. So I think that's better. that one is going over there. Okay. This one is going over here. It took me a while to get this one done. I don't know what happened there. Okay, so I don't know, there's something a little bit wrong with it, I think, but it'll work, I guess. Okay, so I'm going to bring in another color, red. It's working. And I'm going to start by, let's see, the little diagram that I always do here on the right. So this is the material we're going to take out, okay, the corners here. So I'm going to start by drawing these lines, you know, that go all the way around the cube. So I'm going to start with this one right here at the top. So I'm going to draw that one. Okay, we have that one. Now we're going to bring it in this direction. Now we're going to bring it the other direction. And finally we're going to bring it all the way back to the front again. Okay, so we have that one. Now we need the one at the bottom. Okay, so we're going to just make it go all the way around. Something you should keep in mind is that because of perspective, the space in the front of the cube should be bigger than the space in the back. Not necessarily a lot, depending on how extreme you are using the perspective, but at least a little bit, okay? So just keep that in mind when you're sketching here. Let's see. This one should go over there. There's going to be a bunch of lines here, and I hope we don't get too confused by them. Sometimes I get confused with this, and so let's see, this one. What I was going to tell you is that most of the times, or basically I never do this, because now I just sort of estimate where things should be, and just, you know, do an overall calculation of rounds, and just do them as I please. So it's a lot faster to do it that way. But I think we're almost done here. Yeah, I think we're done. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to show you again the little diagram that I did of the corners. So here you have a cube, okay? So you have a little cube here. And this section right here is this section, obviously, okay? So when I take it out, it's going to look something like that, okay? And we want to make it look something like that, okay? So what we want to do here is we want to take this angular thing and just make it round, okay? So we want to do it in both sides, alright? Because if you do it on both sides, then, I don't know, I guess that's the way it should be, you know? You do a cylinder, you have to work on both sides to get it working, okay? So you have to do it on this side too, okay? Right here, I sort of, okay, this one is going this way. See, I'm already getting confused here, but okay, we have it done. Okay, so we have both of those, okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to do the ones at the bottom. Okay, we're going to work on these two. So we have this one, okay, this surface right here. Okay, so now we're going to do the other one. This one, this one. Okay, so we have this section right here. Okay, so now we're going to do the vertical one. So the vertical one is this with that. Okay, so now we are going to do the one over here that you can't really see that much. Now that one. This one is the vertical one. I guess you can tell. Okay, see, that's another one. Now we're going to do the one that's in the back there with that one. Now we're gonna do this one with this one. So you go and do sections, you see? Like, you modify each one of these little angular things, and this one you make it round. So you start by modifying each tiny little one of them. And let's see, I'm sort of lost here. Which one were we doing? That one with that one, and then this one with that one we already did. So that one goes with that one, and then this vertical one, and I think we're done here. Okay, so I'm gonna just go ahead and use the black color here and do the outlines of this. So basically what you want to do is have guidelines that tell you where to start and end the cube. Okay? I'm gonna bring in the Sharpie like I always do, and just go ahead and make this really dark. Okay, so, oops, I came in too much. Oh well. Okay, so that's the way you should do the rounds for a cube, but I'm gonna show you the way I normally do it, and I just skip steps because, you know, once you know the rules and practice enough, then you don't really need to do it. What I do is I just make some lines to know where the rounds start and end, and just sort of, maybe just for the ones at the top, and then the ones at the bottom, I just sort of make them similar to these two right here. And then just, that's the way I do it, and it's way faster. But again, it's fast because I've done the long, all the steps, I've done them a lot. You know, I used to do them a lot when I was starting to sketch. So now it's really simple when I want to, you know, do rounds and stuff, because I know the rules and I've done it so much that, you know, it just comes really quickly. So I would suggest you start with this, you know, all the steps of really just going over every single line and actually sketching them. And then, you know, after a while, you're going to notice how it's getting too easy, so you won't really need it that much, you know, so, but still I would suggest starting with it, okay? So this is how you do the cube, and I'm going to do the cylinder and the cone now. It's a lot simpler, but I'm still gonna do it. Okay, so this is the cylinder. If you have, okay, I think it's a bit crooked, but it's fine. So you have, let's say this is the cylinder. So you need to do two lines to mark the, you know, where it's gonna start the round. So I'm gonna do it right there, and you need to do a small one at the top and another one at the bottom to know where to connect them. Okay, so this one goes there, that one goes there. See? It's very, very simple. And so I'm gonna go over with this. So you connect this one to the small one, and this one to the small one. Just go over that small little ellipse there. Okay, so here I do the same thing. And then go over the small ellipse, and then just connect both of them. And you have the cylinder there, okay? And obviously the shading is going to come here, go up, and go that way. Okay, so all the shading is going to be following the shape of the cylinder. Okay? This is not the actual shading, but I just want to show you, you know, how it should be. So it should follow the direction of the shape of the whole cylinder, now that it has the round thing there, okay? So now we want to make the cube, the cone. So I mark where I'm going to start, and just go ahead and go up there, come back down, and I make the ellipse there, okay? So I need to, I'm going to do it again here, I need to make this line, you know, and the one at the bottom to connect just as I did over here. So I'll make the small one, and then I'll make the big one that I'm going to connect to that one. So there we go. We have a cone with the round bottom there. Okay, so we have this right there, this right here. Okay, so again, with the shading, you have to go from the top, come down, and then go in towards the round. Okay, so all the shading should go up to this point, but when it comes down, it should go all the way in towards the round. Okay, so this was complex rounds for you. It's not so complex once you know the rules. So I hope you learned it, and I'm gonna make just another quick video of some shape like this and how you go and, you know, make the rounds and everything.